Hello, Josue. Welcome to our class. How are you today?
I'm fine, and you? Oh,
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How's the internet today?
it's really good.
Okay,
So
uh-huh.
probably we'll have problems with the storm, but it's okay.
Okay, well, I'm really happy that your internet is working very well today. I hope you don't have any problem during the class. So thank you for being here.
I hope.
Hello, Daniela. How are you today?
Hi, Christian. I'm tired today.
Hi. Okay, I'm really sorry because of it. Because of work?
No, because today I start. Um, I don't know uh, what is the pasantía in English.
Pasantía. Oof, I forgot that word. Let me look for it. I don't, I'm not pretty sure, but I think it's a partnership. Partnership. Let me let me see. Pasantía in English. Tu, 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 tu. Eh, oh, I'm sorry. It's an internship
Okay.
like this. Internship.
Well,
Let's see in
I
Lingui.
start internship and I need to learn other language programming.
Oh, really? Which one do you have to learn?
What I don't can I do
Oh,
some? I
which
can do some.
language? What programming language you have to learn?
Uh, I use Expo with React Native, and I never learned about this.
Okay, well, I imagine that it's kind of difficult, but well, let's try to do your best and let's see if it works better in some days, right?
But I need to sleep more.
Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, but well, let's try. Maybe in these days you will have the time. Okay. Thank you for being here, Daniela. Nice to listen to you today. Hello, Luis. How are you today?
Hello, Christian. I'm fine. I'm fine. Good. And you?
Okay, that's nice. I'm doing fine today. Thank you for asking. I'm really happy to start a new week with you. So, how was your day today, Luis?
Pretty busy. Um, I did a lot of things.
Okay, well, I'm really sorry because well, at least you were busy, so that's something nice. But I hope your day was fine. Well, all your day was fine, and also, well, tonight you will have a great time in the class and also after class.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you. Well, thank you for sharing, Luis, Daniela, Josue. Thank you for sharing with me today. Let me text your classmates before we start the class. Okay, in case they are coming, so we will text them and then we start. Okay, very good. We can start right now with our activities from the class. And everybody, well, I want to remind you something. First of all, guys, remember that this is our last week. And see. Okay, everybody, let's start. Well, as I was mentioning, guys, this is the last week of pre-intermediate 3. So, well, this is the last week, guys, that we will have classes. But I hope we will enjoy this following, the following activities that we have for today and the rest of the week. Okay. So to start with our class today, let me share my screen with you, and then we move. Okay, let's see, everybody. Today we are talking about, well, we will start talking about fairy tales. Let's see, let's start with Luis. Tell me, Luis, do you like fairy tales?
I don't like it a lot. I mean, I have watched it for because of my kids, but I don't love it.
Okay, so just because of your kids, right? So,
Yeah.
well, that's fine. Okay, that's really good. Thank you for sharing, Luis. And well, tell me, what's your what's the story that your kids love the most? What is their favorite story, their favorite fairy tale?
Uh, let's see. I mean, not every Disney movie is a fairy tale, right?
Oh no,
So
not all Disney movies.
I guess uh, Frozen could be a fairy tale, or
I'm
Tangled.
I'm not pretty sure. Well, Tangled, I know that I know that it's a story because of Rapunzel, a fairy tale. I'm sorry, I know that it's a
Yep.
fairy tale. But I'm not really sure about Frozen. But it's also a great story because it's about a Disney princess, right?
Yes.
That's nice. Okay, those are great. Those are great stories. So thank you for sharing, Luis. What about you, Daniela? Do you like fairy tales?
A little,
A little bit. Okay. And what's your favorite fairy tale?
I don't know. I like the Cinderella. Yes.
Oh yes, Cinderella. Yes, it's a fairy tale and it's a great story. Okay, so thank you for sharing, Daniela. That's pretty nice. What about you, Josue? Do you like fairy tales?
Not really.
Not really.
Not
So
really. Yeah, not really.
yeah. Okay, but
Nah.
have you ever read a fairy tale or only watched the movies?
Yes, I have ever read, but you know that I don't like to watch movies or
Oh
see
yeah.
TV.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, that's something nice. Thank you for sharing, Josue. You don't like fairy tales, but it's nice that you have ever read one of this. Okay, at least just because we have to practice it or we have to read it, right? Okay, now let me move to our next question. Today we have another question. And the following says, do you imagine a story of your life? Have you ever thought have you ever thought about writing a book about your life? What about you? Well, let's start with Josue. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes, of course. Let me tell you that with my girlfriend, we begin a story,
Oh, really?
but
Uh-huh.
we never continue.
Come on, okay. But did you write about your relationship or about your life, like in separate ways?
Both, but the most important thing or topic for us is to write about the future.
Well, that's really interesting. So how long or how much time did you write about that about you?
About for 2 3 years.
2 or 3 years.
Yep.
So it is kind of long. You have a long book, a long story.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty nice. Have you ever thought about publishing your book?
Probably not because it's really personal, you know.
Okay.
But in the future, mm, I don't know. Probably yes.
In the future, in a very uh not near future, maybe later, later in some
Yeah,
years.
really later.
Okay, well,
So
that's
we have
something
to
nice.
finish first.
Yes, okay, but well, I consider that you will not finish, but I hope you won't finish writing the story, right? So you continue. Well, thank you for sharing about that, Josue. It is really interesting. Well, I could ask you, Josue, if you write a book about your life, what do you think will be the genre of the story? It will be action, adventure. What do you think? Horror,
Probably adventure.
adventure. Well, that's a good one. Well, thank you for sharing, Josue. That's a great information about your life, about your relationship, and about the idea that you have to write a book, or the one that you are writing with your girlfriend. Thank you. Let's see, Luis, what about you? Do you imagine a story of your life?
I don't understand. Like writing a story.
Yes, writing a book about your life.
No, it will be kind of boring.
Well, come on, Luis. Why do you
Sorry.
think so? Why do you think so? What do you think your book would be boring?
Maybe in the future with my expected future experiences, but right now it would be like kinda lame.
Okay. Well, I got it. Okay, but well, that's something really nice that you're at least you consider that your expectations can be interesting or can be better than the life that you are living now, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty good, Luis. Well, same question as Josue. What do you think could be the genre of your book, of your story?
Oh man. Let,
Adventure, romantic,
let me think about it.
comedy, tragedy?
um, I'm not sure to be true with you. I don't know.
To be honest, right? To be honest, you're not sure. Okay. Don't worry, Luis. But well, I hope if you ever write a book about your life, so let me know to buy it. I want to read about your life.
I want to write, but fiction,
Oh,
not about me. So someday I will.
about like science fiction?
No, like fiction, like more uh, uh, life experiences, like, and not science fictions, just fiction in the meaning of the
Like
things are not real, but are more like life life messages. I don't know.
motivational?
No, no, not like
Not
that.
really.
Please, no.
Okay, but kind of. Okay, kind of. I
Yeah.
consider. Okay, well, that's nice. Josue says about ninjas. Well, that's a great story. Okay, so if you can write any story about it, so let's do it, guys. Thank you, Josue. Thank you, Luis, for sharing. What about you, Daniela? Do you imagine a story of your life?
No, I think same as Luis. My life is very boring.
Really? And why do you think so?
Because I only work and study and I do never more.
And do you have do you have any life experiences that you have had in the past that you would like to share, like in a book or in a story?
I don't know when I am in my childhood, maybe because I am very extroverted. I don't know if it's correct to say
Yes.
extroverted.
Extroverted? Yes.
Okay, extroverted. And in cases I have a problem because I I I I do things that I need. I know. Well, I eat. Oh, really? I don't know. Tierra in English.
Earth?
I yes, I eat earth and other things, and I have adventures in my childhood.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
maybe.
that's a great story, right? To talk about our childhood. Well, actually, talking about childhood, we have a lot of experiences in that moment, or by that moment, we had many experiences, and it's good to talk about it, right? Now, when we are adults, well, as Daniela mentioned, sometimes we only have to work and work and work, like Rihanna says, work, work, work. But at least we have some life experiences that we can share, as Luis also mentioned, and there are some great things that we can talk about it. But guys, why did I have this question for you? Do you imagine a story of your life? Well, guys, let me tell you something. I don't know if you will be, if you agree with this or not, guys. Great news. Our next oral evaluation is on Thursday, April 27th. As I mentioned, guys, we have our, well, we finish classes, or we finish pre-intermediate 3 this Thursday. That means, everybody, that we will have evaluation. What will be the evaluation about? Our evaluation, everybody, it's about the story of your life. We have to use different tenses to talk about to talk about your life, to talk about personal information, to talk about memories, experiences that you have had, and what's the purpose, everybody? First of all, to use the grammar that we have learned through the three levels, pre-intermediate 1, 2, and 3, and also to, well, to get to know you a little bit more. I remember I asked you this question in the first week of classes when we started a pre-intermediate 1. In, I don't remember if it was in the first, sorry, in the third class. I asked you, well, to tell me something about you. So in this opportunity, guys, we will do the same activity, but we have to, first of all, create a presentation about ourselves, of course. And then, everybody, we have to say all this information like a story, okay? So in this case, everybody, some details that we have to remember are, first of all, everybody, that of course you have to tell me a story about you. So try to imagine, try to think about different information that you can share. It doesn't have to be very long, but not too short. And since this is a story, we will not we won't share the information as I. We have to use he or she. For example, if I talk about Christian because I am Christian, I will not say my name is Christian. I am 23 years old. No. In this case, everybody, we will tell the story as, oh yes, Josue, that's a great example. I didn't remember about that. So it's the same like Draw My Life. Yes, thank you, Josue. In third person, that's what I was about to say. So yes, everybody, we have to, Josue mentioned the information or the purpose of this activity in simple words. So it has to be like Draw My Life. I don't know if you are, or if you ever watched a video about it. If not, look on YouTube. I would do it, but well, we can have problems because of it, okay? And we have to describe our life, but in third person. So if you talk, well, if Louis talks about himself, he has to say not I am Louis. No, he is Louis. He is I don't know, he is studying, and all of that information like that. So guys, what we are going to do today is, first of all, make a review about different tenses that we have learned or that we have already seen in the class. And I will give you some examples, guys, about the information that you can share about your life, okay? So that will be our activity for this week. So everybody, thank you for being here. Fernando, welcome. Luis, Daniela, and Josue, thank you for being here. We will try to practice this today and tomorrow, and then I will try to help you on Wednesday to finish or to complete the whole idea that you have for your presentation. And then on Thursday, we have the evaluation. Okay, to start with our class, everybody, as I mentioned, we will have a short review of different grammar topics that we have studied in these 3 months or in these 3 levels, okay? So to start, let's start with the basic one, simple present. Remember that simple present, guys, is the base, or it's the main thing about English at the moment we start learning. So please, everybody, pay attention right now to Fernando. Okay, I want to listen to Fernando today. Please, Fernando, help me reading the structure and the use of simple present.
Simple present, the structure is subject plus verb to be or verb in base form plus complement. And we use simple present to describe people, place, things, and objects, to give personal information, to talk about routines, facts, and truths.
Okay. You
And
can stop over
also
there.
example.
Oh, right now, only that information. Okay, then we continue with the examples. Thank you, Fernando. Okay, everybody, as I mentioned, this is the base of English. So fundamental information that we should have. First of all, guys, remember that verb to be, or we can divide verb to be, guys, in 2 parts. The first one is when we use the verb to be. So we use subject, verb to be, and complement. And then we have the subject, the verb in base form, and of course the complement. As we can see in the first piece of information that we have to use the verb to be. Anytime we describe someone or something, we have to use the verb to be. For example, well, we don't have description about this, but we have personal information. In this case, when we give personal information, we can use both. In some cases, we use verb to be. In some cases, we use different verbs. Okay, please help me with examples, Luis.
Okay, his name is Matthias. He's 17 years old. He lives in San Salvador and he's crazy about soccer.
Okay, thank you, Luis, for the examples. As you see, we are using verb to be in most of the examples, and in one example, we use the verb live. Well, in this case, in third person, lives. He lives in San Salvador. These are some examples, guys, that you can take into account at the moment of creating your story. Okay, so you can tell me this information, and you can add more information. What is the only thing, guys, that maybe we are not going to use? In this case, because we are telling a story, we won't talk about routines. We can mention facts about you. For example, I really like chocolate. Or this example that in this case, as I mentioned, I only use the verb to be. He is crazy about soccer, but we can use he likes or he loves soccer. Okay? So you can mention facts or truth or, well, personal information. Of course, we have to say it. And you can describe yourself, in this case, as he or she, but you can also describe. I didn't do it because of the space, but it's a good option. If you want to mention personal information and also description about you, it's fine, okay? There is no problem. Also, pay attention to this information. Also, we can use present progressive to talk about activities that we are currently doing, okay? As you can see, in simple present, we use basic information about ourselves, okay? Then in present progressive, I will show you some examples that we can use that we can use to talk about some activities that are important in your life and that you are doing nowadays and also in future. Let's see. Okay. Well, in this opportunity, we have 3 examples. Let me just read the structure for you. And as you remember, in present progressive, we use the subject. After that, we use the verb to be, then the verb in ing, and finally, we use the complement, okay? Remember, in simple present, we only have 3 parts in the structure: the subject, the verb, and the complement. In this part, everybody, we use the verb to be, and then we need another verb. And this verb, guys, should be in ing form, okay? For example, we have 3 sentences right now. Daniela, can you help me with the 3 examples?
Okay, he is studying for BA in language at university. Matthias is thinking about applying to be manager at the end of this year. And nowadays he is working as translator in the travel agency.
Okay, thank you. Well done. Okay, as you can see in these examples, we are talking about, first of all, important information. What is the important information? He is studying and he is working. This is important in present, something that is happening at this moment, okay? Now, we have the last example about something that he is thinking about. But I have a question for Josue. Josue, tell me, is the last example, Matthias is thinking about applying to be a manager at the end of this year? What do you think? Is it in present or it's for future?
It's present.
Are you sure?
Well, give me a moment. So Matthias is thinking about applying to be a manager at the end of this year. Well, he's thinking now. So it's present progressive.
Very good. Okay. Is it in present? The action of thinking, of course, it's in present, but the action that he wants to do, it's for future. So he wants to apply to be a manager at the end of the year. Okay. In this example, guys, as you remember, we can use present progressive to talk about actions at this moment and also to talk about something that we have planned to do in the future, okay? So we can use it for both, okay? What is the difference? In this case, in most of the tenses, what's the difference? The time expression, okay? If we use a time expression, we have to check if it is talking about, well, in this case, since we are using present progressive, we have to pay attention if the time expression is talking about something that is happening now or something that is going to happen in the future, okay? So these are some examples, guys. Remember, we can use present progressive to mention important information that we are doing nowadays or something that we have planned to do in some time or in some month, okay? Well, let's move on right now to our next part. And well, we already talked about the present. So right now it's time to talk about the past. Okay, please pay attention to Josue. Okay, Josue, please help me reading the structure and then read the use of simple past.
Okay, simple past. The structure is subject plus verb in past plus complement. So we have to use simple past to describe people, places, things, and objects in past. So verb to be. To give personal information in past and to talk about routines, facts, and through in past.
Thank you. Well, as you can see here, it has, well, it has almost the same use of simple present. I always say, guys, that simple present and simple past are very similar. Why? Because of the structure. First of all, because of the structure. It only has three parts: subject, verb, and complement. The difference in here is that in simple past, we need a verb in past, or the verb to be in past, was or were, okay? But when we are talking about the use of simple past and simple present, it's also similar. The only difference is that in simple past, of course, we have to talk about the past, okay? In this opportunity, we can also describe, remember, since you are creating a story about your life, you can describe something about your life that you did or that you were when you were a kid or when you were a teenager some years ago, okay? For example, Daniela mentioned something. She mentioned that she was extroverted. Nowadays, she's still extroverted, but maybe when she was a child, she was more extroverted, okay? So these are some examples that we can create to describe some characteristics that we have or that we had when we were kids or when we were teenagers, or something that have changed through our life, okay? Please pay attention to our examples and pay attention to Fernando, okay? Fernando, read the examples in simple past.
Dan was born on April 8th, 2002. When she was a child, she didn't like to watch TV, but she enjoyed drawing all the time.
Thank you, Fernando. Well, as you can see in the uses and in the examples, okay, we use simple past to give personal information in past. For example, Han was born on April 18th, 2002. Okay, that's about personal information. But then everybody, we have to talk about routines or facts or truth in the past. Pay attention to the example. Of course, we are talking about childhood, and we contrast two actions: watch TV and draw. As you can see in the first example, she mentioned, or it mentioned, that she didn't like to watch TV when she was a child, but she liked or she enjoyed drawing all the time, again, when she was a child, okay? These are routines or these are facts that we mentioned that happened in the past. In your case, everybody remember, we have to use simple past too. So in this case, guys, you can mention facts about your childhood or about the time when you were a teenager, okay? Or another option, guys, is to talk about memories. Oops, give me a second. It's to talk about memories. For example, okay, when I was a kid, I'm sorry, when he was a kid, when Daniel or Christian was a kid, I don't remember about my childhood. Let's see. When he was a kid, he hid, oops. Oh, he played soccer with his friends the whole day. Okay, so as you can see, this is about Christian's childhood. When he was a kid, he played soccer with his friends the whole day. This is a memory that I can mention. Something that can be important about my life, maybe, or about his life, is when he was 5 years old, he fell down. Oops, he fell down from the bed and he got injured close to his let's see, so this is the left, to his left eye. Okay, so guys, when I was a kid, this is a not crazy, but it's kind of interesting. So I got an accident. I was jumping on the beds and then I fell down, and now I have a scar in this part of my face. So that's a memory that it's curious, it's important about my childhood, because I still have how to show that happened. Okay, then you can mention any other experience or any other event that happened in your life when you were well, in the past. Okay, anytime in the past. So when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, when you were adult, but a little bit younger. Okay, so these are some examples that you can mention. Of course, we have to mention personal information because it's relevant. But then if you want to use simple past, you can mention some memories that you have about the past. Okay, let's move everybody to the last tense that we will study today. And this one is present perfect. Okay, everybody, let's talk about present perfect. And well, let's pay attention to the structure. Daniela, help me reading the structure and the use of present perfect.
Okay. Subject plus have or has plus verb in past participle and participle. Past participle and plus complement.
Okay, thank you. Can you help me with the use of present perfect?
Okay, and we use present perfect for events or experiences at indefinite time before now. And I read other.
Oh, no, by now only that part. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Well, as you remember, guys, one use or the most common use that we have studied about present perfect is to talk about experiences at an indefinite time before the present. Okay, so if we want to use present perfect, remember that we never use a specific time. We only mention the experience or the event that had happened in the past, but we don't use or we never use the specific time when something happened. Okay, please pay attention to the examples and listen to Josue. Okay, Josue, help me reading the two examples.
So she has already sold some of her paintings to her friends and teachers, and she has made many paintings about nature because she loved it.
Okay, thank you. As you can see, I'm sorry, guys, the order was kind of confusing because the first one was the one that it's on my, I don't know, guys, on my right. This one was, let me see. This one was first. Okay, and that one, that's the second one. But okay, the point is that when we are talking about present perfect, remember that we mentioned experiences that someone has had, okay? The first one, as I mentioned, was she has made many paintings about nature because she loves nature, okay? That's an experience that she has had, I'm sorry. So she has painted many paintings, of course. And then, okay, another experience that she has had is that she has sold some of her paintings to her friends and teachers. We never, or in these examples, we didn't specify the specific moment when it happened. We only mentioned that she lived those experiences, okay? These are some examples, guys, that we can take into account at the moment of creating our story. Remember, try to use, well, at the beginning I mentioned that it doesn't have to be too long, but not too short. Try to mention 1 or 2 sentences per each tense, okay? At least in simple present, yes, you can create many examples, but then in simple past or in present perfect, maybe you can create less examples, okay? Maybe 3 or 4 examples in the 2 tenses, right? Simple past and present perfect. Something important, guys, is that remember that you can mix the tenses. For example, well, we practiced that part, and it was that if you want to express or you want to talk about an experience, you can use present perfect to mention what was the experience. Then, if you want to describe what happened, when did it happen, how that happened, and all the information about that event, so in that case, we use simple past, okay? Remember, now, everybody, before we continue, I want to ask you if you have any question. Do you have any question about the activities that we have to complete in the following days? Yes, questions? No questions? No questions. Okay. Okay, if you don't have any question, guys, okay, pretty cool. I hope you got all the information or all the things that we have to do in our next evaluation. If you have, well, if you start creating your story tomorrow or on Wednesday, let me know. In that case, I can help you with not with ideas, because this is about your life, not about mine, but I can help you at least to check if it is correct, if you have to change something, or if we have better words to talk about that, okay? To talk about any detail in your story. Well, today, everybody, to practice, we will do the following activity. Let's create a story about this boy, okay? As you can see over here, we have a picture of a boy with an airplane. So in this moment, what are we going to do, okay? All together are going to create the story or a short story about this boy. It says that we have to think about his name, his personal information. Remember that we can use a simple present or simple past to talk about personal information about him. We can use the likes or dislikes, activities that he is doing nowadays. Remember, as I mentioned, he is studying, he is working, and then some experiences or events that he has had or he has lived. Okay? In this moment, okay, take 2 minutes to think about some information about this boy, okay? And then we will create the story of, well, his story, okay? Right now, think about some information that we can take into account to create his story, and then we will start participating. Go ahead, 2 minutes, everybody, to think about or to create some ideas. Okay, everybody, let's start right now creating a story about this boy. Remember, we have to create, first of all, his name. So right now, let's ask Fernando. Fernando, what is his name?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, okay, what is his name?
The pictures in the boys in the picture?
Yes, what is his name?
Uh, I don't know. I thinking was Carlos.
Carlos, okay, very good. But tell me the complete sentence, please.
His name is Carlos.
Very good. His name is Carlos. Well, that's a great idea. Guys, do you agree with Carlos or do you have any other idea?
Well, let me tell you that I wrote a story about Josepo.
About Josepo or Josefo?
No, Josepo.
Okay, well, that's another great name. Let's see. What about you, Daniela? Luis, what do you think? What is his name?
I think his name is Andres.
Andres. Okay, we have Carlos, Josepo, Josepo, and Carlos. Okay. So what do you think, Luis? What is his name?
I think Carlos is okay, but in English, maybe
Oh,
Charles.
oh, in English, Charles. Okay, that will be a great idea. Okay, because of the two votes that we have from you, let's continue with Charles, okay? Josue, do you, no, let's see, Fernando, right? Fernando, do you agree that his name is in English? Instead of Carlos, we write Charles? Charles?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, very good. So his name is Charles. Okay, right now, let's see. In this moment, Louis is in charge of his personal information. Tell me, please, Louis, when was he born?
He was born in like complete date.
Oh, yes.
Okay, he was born on January 1st of 2002.
Okay, 2002. So how old is he, guys? He is 21, right?
Yep. He is
Okay.
currently an student.
Oh, he is currently a student. Okay, that's a great example. Thank you. What else, Louis?
Um, he is studying to be a pilot because he loves planes.
Okay, because he loves planes. Okay, very good. I like this information that we have. Right now, let's pay attention to Daniela. Okay, Daniela, tell me, okay, what can you describe about him? You can mention physical appearance or personality.
Okay. He's very funny and friendly.
Funny and friendly. Okay. Uh-huh. What else?
He's very handsome.
Huh?
Mm, he has a blue eyes, I think. Yes.
Okay,
In
blue
his
eyes
picture, in blue, yes, blue eyes and brown hair.
and brown hair. Okay.
Hair, sorry.
Okay, that's a great description. I like it. Thank you, Daniela. Well, Josue, now you are in charge. Let me see. Josue sent me a story about these boys. So he sent me the complete story. If we have time, we will read it completely. But please, right now, Josue, tell me some details about the past.
A ver, let me see.
A ver, let me see. Okay, go.
I don't know. For example, he enjoys his spend. Well, if you read my story, we can use some sentences. For example, he enjoys spending time playing until one day a storm came where he lived, and he did not go out to play, but through the window he saw a light and the silhouette. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Please help me with that.
Let's see. He saw a light and the
Silhouette of an airplane, and he asked to his mother, "Mom, it is possible to fly in a storm?" His mother answered, "Yes, son, but you must be a professional pilot." Now Josepo wants to be a pilot.
Okay, I like the whole idea. Just let me copy it because it's too much to write it. Okay, so he enjoys spending time playing. Okay, spending time playing. Then okay, let's see if I copy the text. Yeah, he enjoyed spending time playing until one day a storm came where he lived, and he didn't go out to play, but through the window he saw a light in the silhouette of an airplane, and he asked his mother, "Mom, is it possible to fly in a storm?" Okay, Mom, is it possible to fly in the storm? His mother answered, "Yes, son, but you must be a professional pilot." Now, Josepo, in this case, Charles wants to be a pilot. So let's see, a professional pilot. Okay, so this is great information about Charles. So thank you, Jose, for it. Okay, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a lot of sentences over here. But we have, as you see, it's not really long, but it's a great story. Okay, it's great information that we can take into account. As you know, we created this story really fast because, of course, because of the time, and also because this is just a practice. So you can create your story in the same way, taking into account specific information and important details about that, okay? Josue mentioned, at least in past, Josue mentioned experience, or maybe we could mention that it's a memory that he had from the past, okay? Let's read it together. His name is Charles. He was born on January 1st, 2002. He is currently a student. He is studying to be a pilot because he loves planes. He's very funny and friendly. He is very handsome. He has blue eyes and brown hair. He enjoyed spending time playing until one day a storm came where he lived, and he didn't go out to play, but through the window he saw a light and the silhouette of an airplane. And he asked his mother, "Mom, is it possible to fly in a storm?" His mother answered, "Yes, son, but you must be a professional pilot." Now Charles wants to be a pilot. Okay, so as you can see, well, I want to ask, Daniela, are we using the 4 tenses that we learned today? Simple present, present progressive, simple past, and present perfect? Yes or no?
Wait me a moment. I think only one don't use.
Oh, we didn't use one.
The
Which one?
when we use the auxiliary have
And what is that
or
tense?
use. The present perfect. No.
Okay. Yes, it's present perfect. Okay. In this story, we didn't use present perfect. Okay. However, question for Fernando. Fernando, do you think that the story makes sense? Does it make sense? Yes or no? Or or the story is confusing?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Does the story make sense? So do you understand the story or do you think it's confusing?
Well, for me, it's okay.
For you, but okay. So yes, Fernando, it makes sense, okay? And it's understandable, guys, because, well, the divisions that we have of the information, as you see, well, first of all, we have a personal information and his description. Then we have a memory that he has, okay? So, well, I divided the story only into parts, personal information and description and memories, okay? But in your case, everybody, you can divide it in the tenses if you want. But if not, you can mix one tense and the other in different sentences. That's the most important thing, to use the tenses in the correct way, but in the same text, okay? Remember, you have to create a presentation for Thursday, of course, and we will present your story. So if Josue is talking about Josue, he has to use the subject he, okay? If Daniela is talking about Daniela, she won't say I. She has to say her story using she, okay? That's the main thing, guys, that we have to work for, well, for Thursday. Tomorrow we will continue adding more information. So if you can start working your story since today, that will be nice, because tomorrow, as I mentioned, we will continue with more information. Okay, let's see, everybody. Just before we go, let me show you our homework. Remember, guys, we still have to work. Okay, we still have to work, everybody, on the platform. I'm sorry for Spanish, guys. Lo siento por el español, pero es importante lo que les voy a mencionar rápido, y es que tratemos de completar el 100% de las actividades de la plataforma esta semana. Como ya saben, bueno, este jueves terminamos con este nivel, así que para que puedan obtener su certificado del preintermedio 3, traten de completar todas las actividades antes o a más tardar el día jueves, ¿ok? Y así podemos terminar, bueno, completar con todas las actividades y terminar de la manera correcta, pues, este nivel, ¿ok? Guys, I don't have anything else to say. I will send you the presentation in some minutes. So please, guys, continue practicing. Nice to listen to some of you today. And, well, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.
Good night, everyone. See you tomorrow.